He didn't just refuse her handshake, he dismissed her existence. In a glittering ballroom overlooking New York City, the world's most powerful business leaders gathered for one of the biggest merger signings of the decade. Cameras flashed, champagne chilled, and every handshake meant billions. But when it was her turn, the billionaire CEO smirked, looked her up and down, and turned away. "I don't shake hands with staff," he muttered loud enough for everyone to hear. The laughter that followed wasn't loud, but it was sharp enough to cut. She smiled, calm and poised, the kind of smile that hides storms behind it. Because what he didn't realize was that the woman he'd just insulted wasn't the staff. She was Ava Richardson, the CEO of the company about to merge with his, and the only person in the room who had the power to make or break the deal. Ava had worked her way from the ground up, from a single-parent home in Atlanta to leading a global tech firm worth billions. She'd built everything through grit, intelligence, and quiet strength. But no resume could armor her from the sting of moments like this, the ones where she wasn't seen, only sized up. Still, she had learned one thing: never let emotion speak before strategy. She straightened her blazer, nodded politely, and took her seat beside him. As the meeting began, he continued his performance. Condescending jokes, interruptions, little reminders of who's in charge. He bragged about market dominance and called her company a promising small player. Every word dripped with arrogance. But Ava listened, carefully, silently, taking note of everything he said and didn't say. Then came the turning point. When it was time to review the final agreement, he leaned back in his chair and said, "Let's keep things simple. My board approved the acquisition as is. No changes." Ava looked at him, calm, almost amused. "Actually," she said softly, "there's been a change." He raised an eyebrow. "Excuse me?" Her team slid a folder across the table. Inside was a single-page letter, short, direct, and signed by Ava herself. It wasn't a revision. It was a withdrawal. The billionaire blinked, unsure if he'd read it right. "You're backing out?" Ava's voice was steady. "Yes, effective immediately. My board decided not to move forward with the partnership." He scoffed. "You can't be serious. Do you realize what you're walking away from?" She smiled again, the same calm, unshakable smile. "I do. $7 billion. But I'd rather lose money than self-respect." The room went silent. Cameras clicked. The other executives exchanged stunned looks. In minutes, the whispers began. Reporters typing, investors murmuring, phones buzzing. Stocks don't like arrogance, and by the end of the day, his company's value had started to dip. By morning, it had plunged. It wasn't just the lost deal, it was the image. A billionaire CEO publicly humiliating a black woman who turned out to be his equal, or rather, his better. The story spread like wildfire, from boardrooms to social media, headlines reading, "Tech Titan's $7 billion deal collapses after racist snub." By the end of the week, sponsors pulled out, investors withdrew, and his board called an emergency meeting. The same hand he refused to shake was now the one he wished he had. As for Ava, she didn't celebrate. She didn't post a statement or grant an interview. She simply went back to work, leading her company, mentoring young women, and letting her actions speak louder than outrage ever could. Months later, when she was invited to speak at an equality summit, she shared only one line that left the audience silent. "Power doesn't always roar. Sometimes, it simply walks away." Because the truth was never about revenge, it was about principle. Ava knew she couldn't control prejudice, but she could control her response to it. And in doing so, she didn't just end a deal. She reminded the world that respect isn't a courtesy. It's a currency. He refused to shake her hand, but she never needed it. Some lessons come with a price tag. His just happened to be $7 billion.